I picked up this book as part of my effort to reduce screen time and become more intentional with how I spend my time online and at work. I first heard about it through a New York Times article discussing the idea of banning cell phones in schools, which recommended Dopamine Nation as a deeper look into our relationship with technology and pleasure. Rather than providing a long-form summary, I decided to distill the key insights into a more concise format and focus on a practical action plan at the end. Thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to reading with you again soon. In Dopamine Nation, psychiatrist Anna Lemke explores the deep relationship between pleasure and pain, and how modern society, with its overwhelming abundance of quick rewards, has destabilized that balance. The book is grounded in both neuroscience and clinical experience, weaving together stories of addiction, recovery, and resilience. The first part of the book, The Pursuit of Pleasure, outlines the core dilemma. While our ancestors evolved to survive scarcity, we now live in an environment of excess. From smartphones and streaming media to sugar, shopping, and sex, we are bombarded with high dopamine stimuli that flood our brains with pleasure. Yet ironically, this abundance leaves many of us emotionally depleted, numbed, and in pain. Lemke explains how the brain processes pleasure and pain on the same neural circuit. Overindulgence in any pleasurable activity, no matter how benign, tips the balance toward pain. When the brain receives too much dopamine, it compensates by decreasing its own dopamine production and sensitivity, which leads to a craving for more stimulation. The pursuit of pleasure thus transforms into an escape from pain, and the cycle of compulsive overconsumption begins. In the second part, Self-binding, Lemke turns from diagnosis to solution. One of the most ancient and effective tools to regulate overindulgence is self-binding, the act of setting intentional limits between ourselves and our temptations. She draws parallels between classic myths, like Odysseus tying himself to the mast to resist the sirens, and modern strategies like deleting apps, setting time restrictions, or reframing one's environment. Lemke describes how abstaining from high dopamine behaviors for even a short period, such as 30 days, can reset the brain's balance and reveal how deeply those habits have influenced mood, focus, and self-worth. By creating physical, temporal, and emotional distance from addictive stimuli, people can begin to regain control and rebuild meaning. Importantly, self-binding is not about punishment or deprivation. It's about autonomy and the deliberate act of shaping one's own mind. The third section, The Pursuit of Pain, explores a counterintuitive insight that healing from overindulgence may require leaning into discomfort rather than avoiding it. Lemke argues that voluntary suffering, like intense exercise, fasting, cold exposure, or even radical honesty, can stimulate the same neural systems responsible for pleasure. These pain-based practices trigger a compensatory release of dopamine, providing natural highs without the damaging after-effects of artificial stimulation. Through stories of her patients, she illustrates how confronting emotional pain with honesty and vulnerability restores connection, meaning, and integrity. Shame, too, when processed in healthy community settings, becomes a catalyst for transformation rather than isolation. By redefining pain as a necessary and even healing component of life, Lemke offers a bold reframe that moderation, sacrifice, and discomfort may be the new frontiers of joy. Ultimately, Dopamine Nation is a call to reclaim our agency in a world wired for addiction. It is not a book about moralizing pleasure, but about restoring balance to a brain system designed for survival, not indulgence. Through neuroscience and narrative, Lemke offers a path forward, not of rejection of modern life, but of wise participation in it. Action Plan, the Dopamine Framework. Lemke outlines an 8-step acronym, Dopamine, as a practical recovery path for compulsive overconsumption. Here's how to apply it. D-Data. Track your behavior for at least 1 week. Note what you do, when you do it, how often, and how you feel before and after. The goal is awareness through honest self-observation. O. Objectives. Identify why you engage in the behavior. Are you seeking comfort, distraction, relief from anxiety, or connection? Recognizing the underlying need helps target healthier substitutes. P. Problems. Reflect on the costs. What are you losing because of this habit? Time, health, relationships, self-esteem. Be specific and brutally honest. I. Abstinence. Take a 30-day break from the behavior or substance. Expect withdrawal symptoms like boredom, irritability, or anxiety. This fast helps reset your brain's dopamine balance. M. Mindfulness. Use mindfulness to tolerate discomfort instead of escaping it. When cravings arise, observe them with curiosity. Practice breath work, meditation, or stillness without distraction. I. Insight. During abstinence, reflect on patterns. What triggers you? What emotions are hardest to sit with? What did abstinence reveal about your relationship to control and pleasure? And next steps. Make changes based on what you learned. Rebuild your environment. Set up self-binding strategies, and replace compulsive behavior with fulfilling alternatives. E. Experiment. Reintroduce, or not, the behavior cautiously. Can it be done in moderation, or does abstinence feel better long-term? Use trial and error without judgment. If relapse happens, treat it as data, not failure.